Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're looking at the life of someone who, well, he basically lived a double life, and an incredible one at that. By day, he was a brilliant petroleum engineer with a PhD, a total master of complex science. But at the exact same time, he was building a global network that would go on to affect millions. So how on earth did he pull that off?
And that's really the big question here, isn't it? This isn't just about being good at a couple of different things. We're talking about reaching the absolute top of two fields that you'd think need completely different skills: the super analytical and the deeply social. That's the puzzle we're going to try and piece together today.
So let's break it down. On one side, you've got Ahmed Totonji, the scientist. We're talking a PhD in petroleum engineering, a top university scholar, a real expert in the oil industry. And then, on the other side, you've got Ahmed Totonji, the founder, a community builder, a youth leader, the guy who started huge organizations all over the world. Two very different sides of one truly remarkable person. His story kicks off in northern Iraq. But believe me, it doesn't stay there for long. It quickly goes global, stretching from the Middle East to Europe and then all the way to North America. And to really get how he wove these two paths together, we need to look at them side by side, starting with his incredible academic career.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about the engineer. And this wasn't just a degree he picked up. No, this was a deep, decade-long dive into one of the most demanding scientific fields out there.
I mean, just look at this path. It's a 12-year, super-focused journey that takes him across two continents, from an undergrad on a scholarship all the way to a PhD in petroleum engineering. You know, for most people, this right here would be the achievement of a lifetime. End of story.
But, and this is where the story just gets wild, while he was buried in his engineering studies, calculating fluid dynamics and all that complex stuff, a completely different mission was taking root at the very same time.
In this timeline, right here, this is what shows you the incredible paradox of his life. We're talking about the exact same years he was earning those advanced engineering degrees, he was also building this massive international network of student organizations. He starts in the UK, then expands across Europe, and then jumps over to North America. It's just amazing.
And that's really the thing to understand here. For him, building communities wasn't some hobby he picked up later in life. It was a parallel track, running right alongside his scientific career from the very, very beginning.
So you'd think, okay, PhD is done, now he'll finally focus on engineering, right? Nope. Instead, his community work just shifted into a whole other gear, growing from student groups into major, global institutions. Get this, just 2 years after getting his doctorate, he helps co-found WAMY. That's one of the biggest Islamic youth organizations in the entire world, based out of Riyadh. And he doesn't stop there. Less than a decade later, boom, he's a key player in creating a major intellectual think tank right in the United States, all focused on research and Islamic thought. So when you step back and look at this whole list of organizations he helped build, you realize, wow, this wasn't random at all. He was building an entire ecosystem, Student groups for young people, financial trusts to build infrastructure, think tanks for big ideas, and charities to help people, the whole shebang.
But here's the cool part. He never just walked away from engineering. In fact, he found this amazing way to merge his two passions. He took his PhD and all that expertise and used it to found an entire university department in Saudi Arabia.
So, what was the thread connecting everything? How do you connect the technical, precise mind of an engineer with the visionary leadership of a global founder? Well, it seems he was, at his very core, a bridge builder. And you know what? He basically tells us this himself. The title of his own autobiography says it all. His life's work was all about building bridges, and not just between East and West on a map. We're talking bridges between science and community, between big ideas and real-world action, and between different generations. And that's really the question his life leaves us with. It's such a powerful reminder that being an expert in one thing doesn't have to box you in. His story challenges us to ask, what two worlds can we bridge in our own lives? That's our explainer for today.